This is Craig Reese with Hollywood Junkets. I am joined by Kevin Hawkins, who you got to see on this season's The Voice. Kevin, thank you so much for joining me.
Absolutely. I'm happy to be here, Craig.
I'm very happy too. I've already done kind of like a recap of what happened for these top 8 results, but I'm more excited now because I get to get your opinion on it. So we're going to talk about the results. We're going to talk about who made it to the finale, the top 5. But first, I actually have a couple questions, if you don't mind, just from your time on the show.
Go ahead.
I always think it's nice when you get to work with multiple coaches. So you started with Team Blake, and then in the knockouts round, Gwen stole you, and you got to work with Gwen as well. So kind of tell me, and it's kind of fun too because they're married. How was it working with each, and tell me what you took away from both?
What I liked about both of them, I love working with both because both of them are down to earth. As far as Blake, he's like, chill, and everything that he says on camera, he's just so funny. So he's like that quick, witty person. And so he's always like that on and off camera. So don't get it confused. Like that is truly him. And so that's what I love about Blake. And his coaching style, I love it as well because of the way like he tends to guide. And I remember in my knockout round, I respected Blake because he spoke up about, telling me to switch so much from my chest voice to my head voice when he spoke up about that. And I'm telling you, I've already respected him a lot. But that, and saying that on national TV, because he didn't have to do that, just made me respect him so much even more. Like he's such an admirable guy for sure. When it comes to Gwen, we love clothes and we love the staging and everything. So being on Gwen's team for the lives and getting prepared for lives, we were at rehearsal. And I would say the difference between her and her husband, I never really got to talk to him about life outside of the show or career outside of the show, which is the conversation that I did have with Gwen. We talked about so much stuff. And we sat outside of our rehearsal for probably like 45 minutes. I was almost to an hour before it was time for her to go pick up her kids. And we talked about what do you want your career? What's the projection for your career outside of the show, whether you win, lose, draw. And we talked about the things that it takes, what's necessary. And we talked about shopping. She was like, what are you going to wear? And I showed her like all my outfits that I had planned for like up until the finale. Because I was like, I'm going to wear this here. I'm going to wear this here. I wear this. So that was like my experience with Gwen and stuff. So very, different experiences with both, but still, to meet one goal. Like I love both of them for sure. So yeah.
That is so cool. And that is really cool. You got to have that personal time with Gwen. I've been interviewing artists for a long time now from the show. And I think my favorite stories are when they get that personal time. And it doesn't get to happen that often, actually. I think a lot of fans think y'all get to spend all this time together, every day of the week.
You really
obviously not that.
Yeah, you really don't get to spend time with them until you make it to the lives. Until you make it to lives, because once you're in the lives, it's like it's so much. There's less people that are competing now, so there's more time that is freed up to actually have conversations with them and things like that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but were you kind of shocked that when it was kind of time to potentially steal you, that John Legend didn't steal you? Because we know that he was blocked in the blinds. You had a 4-chair turn, but he was blocked during that process, wasn't able to choose you. Were you expecting him to steal you, to fight for you, or like what were your thoughts on that?
I definitely was, but and this is, I've never said this, but out loud, I've only said it behind the scenes. But when I walked back from performing the knockout and then it was the dryest turn, I walked back and I told Bodie, I was like, John's disappointed in me. I literally said that because I could just feel it because of John's caliber of musicianship. And I looked at him I look at John like a dad, you know what I'm saying? An older brother, but a dad for sure, because we're so similar. We both play the piano. We both went to music schools, top in the country. And I'm a huge John Legend fan. And everybody who truly knows me knows that. And I said that to myself. I had accepted it. I said, John's disappointed, after those comments.
Oh,
And I kind of felt it. I still love him at the end of the day, but when he didn't steal me, I wasn't shocked because I had already like accepted it in my mental, I was just like, he's disappointed, and so that's just what it was. And like he holds me to a certain standard. And if he feels like I didn't deliver that standard, he's not going to reward me with a steal. You know what I'm saying? So that's just how I looked at it. I know some people would say otherwise.
well, Kevin, thank you for that honest answer. I really appreciate that. And I actually think that's a very mature way to look at it. Like it sounds like, yeah, could have done better and I will next time, like kind of like
Yeah.
definitely that. Well, thank you for that answer. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you can think of one of your favorite moments from your time on The Voice, can you tell me about it?
Oh my gosh. It was two of them for sure. Well, maybe three of them. Three of them, I would say. I actually love, for me, I love this woman's work. So many people were like, that's a hard
Mm,
song to sing. My blind audition was out of this world.
yeah.
I mean, it even got the recognition of Stevie Wonder himself, who wrote the song. That was crazy. And we took pictures together and everything. So I met him like a few weeks later after my episode had aired, my blind. But the night that I got eliminated on Redbone, and you could see the tears falling down my face, I was like, dude, I've literally given you my all. Like this is me. And so those were like the highlights of the show for me,
Mm.
vocal wise, outside of being in the wardrobe department. Oh my God, the wardrobe people, they just loved me and I loved them. I was like, ah. Yeah, that was like the highlight of the show. And I just lived in the moment and enjoyed the experience for sure.
That, oh, how incredible. What an experience. I just love this show so much. Well, I've got like a couple other questions about what's going on with you, but I want to save that for the end. So
Okay.
let's kind of talk about what's happening now. Like I said at the beginning, we have a top five and we're going to the finals next week. I know that you've been watching the show
Mhm,
this whole time. You have been live tweeting.
mhm.
And I think you've kind of expressed your admiration and your support for Bodhi. So can you kind of tell me about that? Is that who you see winning? And yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. That day when the knockouts had happened, you know, we walked into it blindly in our rehearsal because we didn't know who we were um, going against. And
Mhm.
I'm not making this up, like uh, on my team, but really as a whole, Bodie and the Drives were literally the people that I was closest to,
Mm,
outside of Kim and Justin Omar. Kim and Justin Omar,
mhm.
I was close to them too. But they were on my team, and when I was like, they were texting me and calling me. This is so funny. Nobody knows this, but we were put in separate rooms behind the scenes, and they were texting me. And it was like, "Have you went on the stage yet?" And I did not want to respond because I'm like, I must be going against them. And then when I saw I was going against them, I was like, no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, because we were legitimately, it was not for TV. We were legitimately friends. We always went to dinner together, and we were saying the week leading up to it, we was like, there's no way we're gonna be put together, all three of us. Maybe one of us will be put together, like I would be paired against the Dryers or Bodie or the vice versa. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, there's no way all three of us. And when we saw that, was like crazy. So yeah, fast forwarding till now, like when we were prepping for lives and we took a little break, me and Bodie, we talk every day. I mean, I just talked to him early this morning.
Mhm.
We talk every day. We are legitimately friends. So I've definitely thrown a lot of support his way. I've met his wife, his kids. Like I've talked to his mom. You know what I'm saying? Like he talks to my, like it's not a joke. Like
Yeah.
he is like one of my closest friends for sure. And so
That is awesome.
say that
Also,
like,
I think it's great that you were close with the Dries. I actually got to interview them early on in the season, and they were some of my favorite people. They were so sweet.
yeah,
I wanted to see them go a lot further than they did.
I
I
know.
I think in my one of my earliest videos, I think I picked them as like my top five, like from weeks ago. I
Yeah.
was Man, now I'm thinking about them and I'm sad again.
No, let me tell you, they didn't air this, but like when I saw that they did not get stolen and stuff, I'm telling you, as soon as I was done with my interview with Gwen, I was so overcome with emotion, looking at Caitlin and Derek's face, and we just started like bawling into tears, like I was at a funeral. It was so sad because like we were super close. It's just like just I just can't explain how close I am. We have a group text called the Dries plus two. So it's the plus two is me and Bodie. Like we have yeah.
That's awesome. Well, tell them I say hi. I
I will for
really,
sure.
really
Yeah.
did love them.
Yeah, I will for sure.
I think they're gonna still continue to do awesome things. So
Oh
I'll
yeah, they
we're
just
gonna
sold
see
out
them.
like 3 Christmas shows within like
Yeah,
a few days. So they're doing great.
love it, love it.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm not gonna lie, I hate to use the word disappointed. There were some people I wanted to see move on to the top five, that did not. Obviously, Team Blake now has the stronghold in it. You were on Team Blake, so maybe this is you were supporting this, maybe. But tell me your thoughts. Like, is there anyone not in the top five that you wanted to see move on?
Is there you know, unfortunately, I mean, not unfortunately, fortunately enough, I have become close with all of these people.
Yeah.
And, everyone's deserving of their spot.
Yes.
I would say we know what that was, and considering the climate of this country, and just like the politics and, racial tension, unfortunately, which it does dishearten me a lot,
Yeah.
and because I was close with everybody, but I have to go with what John said. John Legend said, if this is the voice, we need to vote for people that are giving you just what this show stands for, and so I was stunned,
Yeah.
like John was stunned, and um, to just see the way that things played out, and I was just like, I'm very stunned at these results and stuff, but I do want the best for literally everybody. But I do think, like John said again, if this is the voice, then vote for the voice. Um, I understand, you may like who you like and stuff like that, but if we're going off of performances, just vote for who had the stronger performance. And that's all I'll say. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely I respect you not naming names. I think that's totally fine and totally okay.
Yeah.
I unfortunately I think this has been a theme for the show for a while, so I'm
Mhm.
not shocked, but just a little bummed.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
I will say that that's what I'm saying. To know that this is a continuous theme, would make me think that there could be something that should be done to say, hey, we have to do something about this. Like
yeah,
take, I don't want to use the word like um, like action, but like what can we do to make sure things like this don't continue to happen because so it won't look bad, on the show overall. Because I
yeah,
mean, I was going through some of those comments. I was like, and so but at the end of the day, like those people that work behind the scenes and stuff like that, they are genuinely nice people. And so I know everybody felt what we all felt,
yeah,
So
yeah.
like literally.
I've felt that feeling a number of times while covering the show. So it's not
Yeah,
new, but it still doesn't make it any easier, you know.
yeah. Mhm.
Who are you rooting for?
I'm rooting for everybody, but honestly, I'm definitely rooting for everyone. But I would say because I grew close to them, I am definitely rooting for Bodie and Omar for
Yeah,
sure. You know, um, I just love them so much because I've developed that relationship with them. Whoever wins, wins at the end of the day. But I'm definitely rooting for people that I definitely grew close to, which was Bodie and Omar for sure.
awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. They're my top three along with Morgan. I've been really
Yeah.
impressed with Morgan.
Yes, she is good.
She's good.
And she came to Texas a few months ago and stuff. So, but
Oh, nice.
yeah, but I'm definitely rooting for Bodie and Omar for sure.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait. The one thing I really did love about this semifinals is it felt like a finale. Some of those performances and the staging and the choreography, this
Yeah,
was a great show. So I cannot wait for the finals next week.
yeah.
Very excited for that.
When Omar was like levitating, I was like, this is like a finale performance. And then, Morgan, she's closing out the show. Like that was like an award show performance. And then to see Justin, the way that they started it with the, oh my God, the scenery of that all. And then Bodie, like I told Bodie, for me, I told Bodie, and John is so spot on with his comments to say like John was like, I see that path for you of selling, records and stuff like that. Bodie, for me, and I can only speak for me, but he was one of the most modern contestants that the show has seen in a long time.
Mhm.
Which is he gave you fresh music, that is just like has came out within Golden Hour came out a few months ago, and
Right.
he was giving you fresh music like that's came out within the past year or two. But when the live, like I appreciated the freshness of songs week after week after week.
Absolutely. But I do think what has made him such a standout is just week after week, just giving us stuff that we have never seen on 22 seasons of this show,
I'm
so I
telling
agree.
you. Yeah,
I
yeah,
agree.
yeah.
Well, Kevin, I really, really not only appreciate your time, but appreciate your honesty. I really love some of your answers that I know everyone that's going to watch this is going to appreciate that too. So thank you so much for
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Yeah,
Before I let you go, I gotta know, what are you working on now? Give us your Instagram, give us all your social media so we can follow you and see what you do this next coming year.
yeah. So I'm finishing up my album. I actually started the album before I was like in the process of The Voice, but it is definitely going to be released in a very major way. I can't say until everything's like signed on the dotted line, but definitely like some majors, that I'm talking to. So I'll just drop that nugget. It's just going to be a great project. The bookings and everything because of the show and just everything that I've already built. Like I'm just so excited to just share, my art, continue to share my artistry and show the direction that I'm headed to. As far as like life right now, within the next couple of weeks outside of music, I'm actually going overseas to Thailand. So that
Oh,
should,
nice.
yeah, that should be. It's like this is like the first vacation I've taken in over a year because of the show and everything. So Thailand, Vietnam, and Cambodia. So I'm out, and then that's pretty cool. But my social media is K Hawk Music, KHAWK Music. That's on Instagram and Twitter, and then Kevin Hawkins on Facebook and YouTube. And you can download my current album that's already out, Mixed Emotions. So yeah, so I appreciate talking to you, Craig. But this experience was definitely one that I will never forget for the rest of my life. It's
Absolutely.
the tears and the laughter and just like, whoo, full speed ahead.
Awesome. Well, thank you again. And we will definitely be in touch, especially when this new album releases. Maybe we can talk to you again and
Sure.
get some support on that end. But thank you so much for your time and have a great rest of your year. And we will talk to you soon.
Absolutely, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Kevin.
Thank you.